Okay, guys, so once again, this is this film, Falling in Love, 1984. This is the front cover, this is the spine, and this is the back cover. So many subtitle options, this is fantastic. Not so many audio options, but it's even better because there is more space for the film itself, perhaps, right? Full frame, I love it. Alright, so let's turn it on, shall we? Here we go. It's in perfect condition, and here goes nothing. You see, so many options in terms of possible languages, available languages. So let's stick with the default one. And now to the main feature. So it was released by Paramount. There were different studios in consideration, but they rejected this. They didn't like the script, I suppose. And again, this perfect, fantastic opening aerial shot. You're just bought by it, if I may say so. Oh. It's like in Jerry Maguire. There it was that line, "You had me at hello," and here you had me at the beginning, at the opening aerial shot. Right? Thanks.
Just shut up. You had me at hello.
Hi there, friends. How are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel called Blast and the Past. And this time around, I would like to review a DVD release of the film Falling in Love from 1984, starring Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro. It was directed by Ulu Grosbart. So I hope you will like it, you will enjoy my short review, and I would like to keep it short and sweet, so I will try to keep it below 10 minutes. Not like the last one, so it was actually a film review of Heartburn from 1986, if I'm not mistaken, and the previous one, so the later film, Heartburn, it stars Jack Nicholson and Meryl Streep. So this one is a little bit different duo, a little bit different duet, but it's also a great watch. So like I've said, so please stay tuned, please be patient, because this one, I hope it will be short and sweet and to the point, spot on, as they say. Alright, so thank you, I really appreciate it in advance if you could watch the whole video review without skipping it. So without further ado, as I like saying it a lot, let's kick it off, shall we?
Falling in love. Sometimes magic is the only thing that's real.
Okay, so this one is the German edition of this film, Falling in Love. So, well, I don't want to butcher it, but it's Der Liebe verfallen. So that makes sense. My German is pretty weak, but I understand something. So yes, it's pretty faithful to the original title. And alright, so you have this typical age classification. So it's typical of German releases. Alright, so this is the front cover. This is the spine. And this is the back cover. Pretty climatic, isn't it? Right? You can already see what you're getting into, so this is good. So there is some romance, some drama. Oh, it's pretty nice. I can guarantee you that. Alright? So let's take it out. And let's turn it on, right? As always. Or at least as usual.
Robert De Niro,
Proszę, mogę cię jeszcze zobaczyć?
Meryl Streep,
Muszę go zobaczyć. Czemu to robisz? Muszę jechać.
Zakochać się.
Alright, so let me read the short summary of this film, prepared by Tom Zoner, and it's featured on the IMDb website. So here it goes. During shopping for Christmas, Frank and Molly run into each other. This fleeting short moment will start to change their lives when they recognize each other months later in the train home and have a good time together. Although both are married and Frank has 2 little kids, they meet more and more often, their friendship becoming the most precious thing in their lives. The first summary featured on the IMDb website is a little bit shorter, and it states, although they live married lives, 2 strangers keep running into each other, starting a friendship that could blossom into so much more. Actually, I was surprised to have found out during the screening, during the watching of this film, that it was a semi-Christmas film. Because it starts at Christmas and it finishes at Christmas as well, but 1 year later, if I'm not mistaken. So, of course, it wasn't the first time at the weekend when I saw it, so I've seen it maybe twice. But this is interesting because when you don't watch something for a longer time, then you forget the details. and I was caught off guard by that it was a Christmas film, a little bit, at least partially, and that was interesting. And also I didn't remember how it ended, so that was another surprise, a very pleasant surprise. And I'm pretty shocked by this mediocre reception of this film. So the average score on IMDb it's 6.5, and Roger Ebert, one of the most famous critics, so he gave it 2 thumbs out of 4, and he pretty much criticized it because according to his opinion it's a predictable drama, a romance. There's nothing special, nothing extraordinary about it.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, I gotta get going.
Me too.
They could have done a much better job with the script, and it's saved by the 2 performances by Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro. I couldn't agree with that. Because, of course, it's a sleeper, so we could say a sleeper like in this meaning that maybe it flew a little bit under the radar, despite the juggernauts of Hollywood. So Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro. Yes, how can you not recognize this actor and the actress? But it's a slow-paced film, even something similar in the vein of the later Heartburn motion picture, again with Meryl Streep, but then she was teamed up with Jack Nicholson.
Not funny.
Yes, it is.
In my books, I was captivated by this film. I was engrossed into this slow development of the friendship, of the narrative, of the plot. So I have nothing against films which move at a slower pace, as long as everything else is fine. All the elements, they come together and it's a perfect match. And in this case, so the chemistry between the performers is fantastic. Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro, so they are household names. They are just trademarks of Hollywood, and in this case, it's really fantastic to see them act with each other, to see this friendship develop, this relationship. So they would like to be together, but on the other hand, they cannot because they have their own families. They are tied or bound by different commitments in their lives. Nonetheless, so there is something going on, definitely. There is this vibe in the air. And this is great that it doesn't go this typical cliche direction. And I don't understand this criticism. That it's boring, that there's nothing interesting, that it's predictable. Is it so predictable? I don't think so, to be honest. You have to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, this is not, I wasn't trying to, you know.
Yes.
To draw your own conclusions from that. I would say that very close to life because you never know. You may meet someone special even on the train, on the bus, and start a conversation just out of the blue, or something could happen by accident. It could be like a gigantic coincidence, and this one is fairly realistic on top of that. But like I said, so if you are into dramas, into romantic films, I think that you should definitely give this one a go and give it the benefit of a doubt. So don't pay attention to the average score, to the ratings on the Rotten Tomatoes website, but actually I think that, if I'm not mistaken, the audience appreciated it much more than the critics. So it's around 67% from the audience, and from the critics it's around 54%, the average score of positive reviews. So and Roger Ebert, so I wouldn't pay attention to that, actually.
You have my loyalty and friendship because you're a truly special person and a great actress.
He was a renowned critic and very acclaimed with lots of accolades, but in this case, I just think that he was simply wrong. But, you know, just like everybody else, so reviewers can also have better and worse days. So I can't blame him. But in my opinion, this is a great watch, and this is fantastic. And the climate, the atmosphere of the 80s, my goodness, like even I remember that in some of the comments, people mention it, that there were no cell phones, no internet, obviously. So when you made an appointment, you had to be there. Your word was your bond. If you promised something, you had to deliver.
Want me to drive?
What's the matter?
No, it's getting late.
Well, why didn't you take an earlier train? You were up. You were all set.
Those good old times, and there is this perfect atmosphere, the vibe. That's what I love also about the cinema from the 80s. And this one is one of the best exponents of this climate, of the atmosphere. So there are so many great elements about this film. like I said, so maybe there's not too much excitement in this meaning, like action scenes or something unpredictable happen, a major plot twist, because it's not what this film is about, not this kind of genre. If it's like a mixture of romance and drama, so what do you expect? Is it cliched? I don't know. To me, maybe the dialogues are not very memorable, very fantastic, very extraordinary, out of the box, but sometimes even this, let's say, mundane cinema is just needed. And if you are in the right mood for that, or you could watch it with your spouse, your beloved one, your partner, it's even better for mutual, for common screenings, shared screenings with somebody else at your side, by your side. So this is highly recommended, at least in my opinion. But of course, so everybody's entitled to their own. Why not? And actually, an interesting thing is that this film doesn't mark their first cooperation together. I mean, between Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep, because they met before on the set of The Deer Hunter, released in 1978, and later on, afterwards, on the set of Marvin's Room, the film from 1996. So this is like in between their second cooperation, but the chemistry between them is fantastic. So I'm glad that they've met so far 3 times, and hopefully there will be yet another cooperation, because they are still there, they are still active, they are still in the limelight despite so many years of having acting in the business, of having been active in Hollywood. So I think that they are really role models of how good you can be at acting, at performing. My goodness, so I hope that everybody has the same level of energy at the age of 70 or 80 like they do. So actually they meet for the first time on a commuter train, and like I said, so the climate, the atmosphere, the vibe of the 80s, this is fantastic. Everybody has been talking about this film. No cell phones, no internet, no smartphones, only pay phones, if anything at all. And this is their first random encounter. I would like you to experience it on your own, to watch it in the comfort of your home. But even here, so it's not the best quality yet, because it gets even better. I don't know what it depends on, but even here it's great, it's fantastic, on a very attractive Meryl Streep, you know, in her prime, and Robert De Niro, a chunk of a man, yes, a handsome guy, handsome devil, I suppose, for ladies, very charismatic. So this is great, and it's only the beginning, yes, and they are not talking to each other, by the way, so this is a fun thing. This is a funny thing, that they are not talking to each other. There was just, they were here randomly. And you see, so it takes place at Christmas. Oh.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So that was a surprise to me, although that was not the first time I saw this film, actually the second time. Wow, fantastic. It only gets better, trust me, the details. So it's only a mere DVD release, but it's available very cheap at a very low price, so just go for it, really. Or if it's on some streaming platforms, it's as good as it gets as well, I think. Oh, those famous hot dogs in New York, in the heart of America, my goodness. It's so juicy, so nice, so mouth-watering that you would like to have a bite. Yeah, wouldn't you? Anyhow, so that's about the technical aspects, so it's highly recommended, definitely, in terms of the picture quality. So it's worth the price of the admission. It's fantastic. It's not a very long film, so 102 minutes of the running time. Of course, without the credit roll, it's a little bit shorter. So it's really, really nice in terms of the picture quality. I don't think we need a Blu-ray release. Of course, it would be great, it would be nice, but still, it's so good, it delivers in terms of the picture quality as well. So even if there is a Blu-ray release, I don't think that I would double dip, I would update it, I would refresh it, because what for, if it's so fantastic? So it's good to have it in your collection, just to pay tribute to the filmmakers, to the actors, to the Hollywood film industry as well.
DVD. See how good a movie at home can
I
be.
have to admit that Ulu Grossbart is a pretty interesting director, because his portfolio maybe is not very rich, and actually, so his last film is The Deep End of the Ocean with Michelle Pfeiffer and Treat Williams from 1999, and I've seen it on Blu-ray. It is a pretty interesting drama, maybe some kind of a thriller, I wouldn't say so, but as far as I remember, it was also captivating, engrossing, interesting, maybe kept at a slow pace, and it was focused on the characters and the relationship between them. So the conflicts, some obstacles, some problems they had to deal with. So in the same vein as this one, I mean in terms of the drama, the genre, that it is something similar. Of course, this is more of a romance, and then something terrible happens in this film, The Deep End of the Ocean. So I would like to recommend it to you as well.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Treat Williams, Whoopi Goldberg, from the beloved best-selling novel, The Deep End of the Ocean.
I think that it's a shame that Ulu Grosbach, the director, wasn't more active. So his portfolio features several films, but with those kind of skills, so he could have been a much better, more renowned director, I suppose. But he had long breaks. I don't know whether due to health issues or some other things happening in his life. But this one is a very good example of his skills, of his approach towards the cinema, how good he is, the aerial shots, especially the opening shots, the beginning, with the commuter shown from different angles. So it takes very good skills in terms of the directorships, in terms of being a good director, to visualize it first and to put it on the film right now, on the reel, like in the good old 80s and the 90s still a little bit. On the reel, not on some digital format. So that's fantastic.
Take the train together and I like him.
If I may say so, I think that this chemistry between the actors, between the performance, Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep, is because they still are for their age, of course, but they were back in the day extremely attractive people. So Meryl Streep in this film, she's stunning. I think that she was around 35 years old, and Robert De Niro still in his prime, 41. And it's good to look at two attractive people coming together, developing a relationship. Yeah, so this is also additional charm, additional value to it. So maybe it's a little bit stereotypical, but it's great to be a witness of this blooming relationship, especially when it's between two such good-natured, good-looking people.
Married people have to eat too.
Feeling the excitement.
Nervous.
Yeah, I am.
Now, if I could talk a little bit about the technical aspect, so I will try to keep it short and sweet again. So this is only a DVD release, but again, I think this is one of the best I have ever seen. So it is better than Heartburn, maybe not by a mile, but still. You have to consider that it's only a dual layer DVD disc. You can see right now at the beginning, so the details are a little bit hazy, so they are still not as clear as later on.
Not to mention, you can watch it in widescreen, pick your language, choose from features like director's notes.
And also, I can't emphasize enough how great the musical score is. The soundtrack created by Dave Grusin, and especially with the main theme, so it's a piano theme, it's fantastic. It appears here and there, and it just adds to the special atmosphere of the film. So this is yet another great aspect of falling in love. The cast, the narrative, how it comes together, the development of this interesting relationship, and the musical score, the soundtrack. So all of those elements, they make for a good film, a strong recommendation. So please give it a go.
What are you gonna do about it?
Taking the chances.
What's going on with us? I mean, what's...
And this is the opening sequence I'm talking about. So this is the establishing shot, right? It presents the landscape, it moves slowly, then it will focus on the commuter train, on which pretty important things take place. Of course, we have the cast, so Robert De Niro gets the top billing in this one, and Meryl Streep is behind him. This is interesting. And what about ladies first? Okay, and you see the commuter, fantastic. So this is the opening shot, people waiting there. You can already feel the climate, the atmosphere oozing out of it, yeah? Can't you? And then there will be a great shot of this train, you see? It moves like that towards the camera, and the camera follows it, and there's another shot, and there are more things like that. So these are of course details, but they do matter in the grand scope of things, really. So all of that, this is fantastic.
Zoli's.
Sorry.
I was trying to remember where I saw you.
To me, one of the biggest selling points of this film, apart from the cast, of course, is this atmosphere of uncertainty, of doubt, because on the one hand they would like to be together, but on the other hand they cannot because of other commitments in life. So this is also very interesting, how it develops and what happens next, and whether there is a happy ending or not, or whether there is something dramatic going on happening at the end. You have to see it on your own. You have to check it out.
I'm gonna go see him.
I don't understand. Why are you doing this?
I have to go.
We have two films from the 80s starring Meryl Streep. The first one in the chronological order is Falling in Love from 1984, and then we have Heartburn from 1986. So in my opinion, I think that the teaming up of Robert De Niro of Meryl Streep, it turned out to be a better fare than this one. Both are fine, both have very great soundtracks, but I think that in terms of the flow of the plot, so Falling in Love is a little bit better, if not even much better. Heartburn is okay, like I said, so it's highly recommended for the fans of the cast of Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson. But this one, so the chemistry also great, it's on a par with the one in Heartburn, but generally, so I think that just the story is more captivating, more interesting, more fascinating. Although many people claim that it's very cliched, it's run-of-the-mill, and I wouldn't agree. So in this case, I think that this is the winner. Maybe not like the clear winner, the landslide victory, triumph, but still, if I were to choose only one out of these two, so I would go with Falling in Love. But both of them are definitely worth seeing, worth checking out. That's for sure.
The minute you get married, you start to drive each other crazy.
To me, one of the biggest selling points of this film, apart from the cast, of course, it's this atmosphere of doubt, uncertainty. So on the one hand, they would like to be together. On the other hand, they cannot because of other commitments in life. So this is also interesting to see how it develops, and they would like to be together. They have doubts, they have second thoughts, whether they should consummate the relationship or not. So go beyond the point of no return, to keep it only platonic. So you have to check it out, whether there is some major plot twist, something dramatic happens or not. Definitely, it's worth checking out, it's worth seeing.
Listen,
What?
Oh, gosh.
No, I was just gonna...
So please guys, don't skip this review, try to watch it from the beginning to the end. So I've promised you that I would like to keep it much shorter than the previous ones, like around 29, for almost 30 minutes. So this one, I hope that I will edit it to be succinct, to be to the point, spot on. And also please remember about good old DVDs, because they are very cheap, and if we have a DVD release like that, so it's worth having in your collection. Don't get rid of those, just appreciate it. It's good to have this cover, you know, just put it on your shelf. Also to pay tribute to the filmmakers, and when the quality is so good, the picture quality is so great, maybe not eye-popping because it's still only DVD, but when you have a film like that, and especially from the 80s, so where they were shot on reel, and that's why the picture is grainy but in a good way. So remember about physical media, so keep it alive guys, because this is tradition. So of course streaming and physical media, I do believe that they can coexist together, and there could be like this mutual relationship between them, it could be reciprocal. So this is definitely worth picking up, worth checking out, worth having, and I hope that you'll share your thoughts on this film with me.
It looks and sounds like you're at the movies, but you can experience it at home.
First of all guys, I would really appreciate it if you could share your comments, your opinions on this film, whether you like it or not, whether you would like to see it, especially after my review, whether my review is encouraging and it could motivate you, it could convince you to watch it. So please share your comments with me. I would love to read them, I would love to respond to them. So please be active in the comment section. Please tell me what you think about this film, what you think about the cast, the stellar cast, the actors. There is Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, and also Harvey Keitel in one of the secondary roles. So please share your thoughts, share your comments, tell me what you think about it, or write it down in the comment section. So if you could also like this video, that would be great. Subscribe to my channel, but this is you don't have to do that, but that would be fantastic, really. It would keep me motivated on the other hand. So please remember, tell me what you think about the film Falling in Love from 1984, about the 80s, the 90s in general, about the motion pictures from that eras, from those decades, from those eras.
Two people finding each other.
And about the cast, Meryl Streep, then and now, Robert De Niro, then and now, their repertoire, I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys, thank you so much in advance.
I have an extra bag.
Take this off.
Take this, yeah, that's all right.
And guys, a question for you. Which one do you prefer more? Is it Falling in Love or Heartburn? Heartburn or Falling in Love? So which one do you prefer out of these two? If you had to make a choice, if you were to choose, which one would you pick? So you know my favorite, you know which one I prefer, although they are both worth seeing. So I would like to hear something from you guys. Please comment in the comment section below. Please post your take on that. Is it Falling in Love or Heartburn? Heartburn or Falling in Love? I would love to read those. I would love to read your opinions. So I'm looking forward to reading from you guys.
I think you have my book.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
There's also one pretty sad, pretty disappointing thing about this film, and actually Heartburn as well. So the budget of this film was $12 million, so not too much, but it still flopped at the cinemas. So it didn't even earn its budget. It earned around 18 million, close to 12, but it didn't even recuperate its budget, not to mention making any profit. So that's disappointing, and the same thing happened to Heartburn. So it was also a flop, a fiasco at the cinemas. I don't know how this star power didn't work, what happened. Of course, it was a little bit atypical repertoire for Robert De Niro, but still, you know, such juggernauts of Hollywood, and they weren't a bait for the audience. I don't know how it happened, how it might have happened that both films flopped. This one and this one. To me, it's just mind-blowing. Also, Michael Christopher, the author of the script for Falling in Love, is a pretty interesting screenwriter because he's written scripts for such films as The Bonfire of the Vanities, The Witches of Eastwick with Jack Nicholson and Mr. Jones with Richard Gere, and also The Night Clerk from 2020, which not only did he write but also directed. So it's his pet project, I suppose.
What did you do? What did you do, Bart?
Oh my god. What did you do?
As always, thank you very much for the attention. I hope that you have enjoyed this short review, this new format a little bit. So I would like to keep the reviews shorter, around 10 minutes, hopefully even below, for your entertainment, and so you could watch the whole of it, the whole review, not to skip it. And thank you very much, stay tuned, and until next time, cheers!
Bye.
And perhaps as one of my idols from my childhood, Jean-Claude Van Damme, would finish this kind of review. Thank you for your attention, and until next time, cheers! Delivers in terms of the picture quality. It delivers one of the biggest selling points of this film, apart from the cast. To me, one of the biggest selling points of this film, apart from the cast, of course, and the chemistry, is this one. And
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.